that the questions of the motion be put. I've got Simon Bridges.
Mr Speaker, can I firstly congratulate Mr Chairman Tohenere and all members on the committee. And can I say this was a very significant journey for every committee member, and there's many things that could be said, but I really just want to share with the House two enduring memories and thoughts that I have as a result of being on this inquiry. And the first was actually quite a significant number of young Maori women who came along and told us how they began smoking. And they didn't begin smoking as I perhaps naively thought they would have, as young, or rather as women in their late teens trying to impress people at parties or something like that. Rather, they began as girls, usually of 10 or 11, who lived in houses of smokers and probably been passively smoking since before they were born, and they rolled and lit the tobacco of their mothers and kuia around them, and then started really sneaking tobacco. And I remember more than one, as I say, a number of young Māori women coming and telling us this. And then as night follows day, they were hooked and they were addicted to tobacco. And now the young woman with children, and some of them will maybe be listening to this, and they want to stop, but it's not easy for them. And they're anxious actually that their young children, that they don't start perhaps in the way that they started smoking. And so the picture I had of smoking was quite wrong, because smoking isn't always, perhaps isn't most of the time, this idea of a free market with adults who freely consent to take up smoking. And you know, I don't want to say in this House that personal responsibility doesn't have any part in smoking, and for some starting and for some giving up. But it was a more complex, difficult situation of children smoking as a result of parents and grandparents who have smoked that I saw on that committee, and that I will remember, I think, for the rest of my life. And what that means is a more intense, strong, interventionist approach is called for, and I think that's what we have recommended in this report that we have produced and that we are all on the committee proud of. The second thing I wanted to just say was, I was shocked by the statistics and the figures that we were given by a raft of organisations, but I remember in particular how Ash's submission made very clear to me the stark differences in average mortality rates between Māori and non-Māori. And look, putting it bluntly and in short, it's depressingly clear that Māori men and women live about 8 years less on average than non-Māori. So for a non-Māori male, the life expectancy is 79. For Māori, 70.4. That's an 8.6 year difference. For non-Māori female, 83 years. For a Maori female, 75.1 years. That's a 7.9 years difference. And the smoking prevalence we know among Māori men and women is disturbingly high. 42% of Māori men and 49% of Māori women. And so, you know, really, I came away very clear in my own mind that it would be simplistic to say that if we simply stopped or reduced or eliminated, which would be even better, that smoking rate for Māori men and women, we'd completely shrink that mortality rate. But I tell you what, it would be the best thing that we could do to really reduce that mortality rate, because no race should feel limited in our country because of their race, and no one should feel that they won't live as long as another on the basis of their skin colour. And tobacco and the high prevalence of of smoking among Māori really does mean that Māori are living too short compared with non-Maori in this country. So there are two things I will take away from this
to
committee.
advise the member that his time